Today's interview is a special one for me. Um, when I first was diagnosed with prostate cancer, my dear friend Simon Blow, who's a Qigong master, who lives in Sydney, Australia, just happened to be in the neighborhood. He was in Portugal having a holiday, and I'm in the UK. And bless him, he got onto a plane and came and spent a whole week with me and gave me an intense training for a whole week. And that was 7 years ago. Um, I've been through not only two cancers and severe autoimmune hepatitis, but my daily practices have always had Qigong as a focus, and everything is kind of has worked around my Qigong practice first thing in the morning. So it's my absolute pleasure to introduce you to Simon Blow. Simon, great to have you. Great to see you.
Thank you, John, and thank you for inviting me, and thank you for including me in your healing journey. It's been a great inspiration to me. So you've done so well. Really, really, really pleased how it's worked out and continuing working out for you. Very good.
For any of those people who are watching that are unfamiliar, how would you describe Qigong and its core principles?
Qigong is a relatively new word. It's been only developed from about the 1950s in China. It's a way of classifying all their type of exercises and their energy work. Now, Qigong, Qi refers to energy or life force, which flows through the network of meridians, as in Chinese medicine. And in the Taoist understanding, Qi is everything in the universe. Its energy flows through everything. If you're studying yoga, they call this energy prana, or if you're in Japan, they call this energy ki. So it's kind of like the energy of life force which flows through everything, something we can't see, but it binds everything together, the energy of life. And gung is a word which means training or work or effort. So applying yourself to master or study the energy of life. So there's lots of different ways of working with this area. So there's three main categories in Qigong. There's a martial art, sports style of Qigong, which includes Tai Chi. There's a medical healing forms of Qigong, which is part of all Chinese medicine. And also there's the meditation, spiritual side, which is the Buddhist style, the Taoist style, the Confucius understanding of spiritual connections. So there's many different forms and styles. So again, it's just a new word describing ancient practices. The practice of Qigong go back probably about 5,000 years. They go back to what first documented in the famous book, the Yellow Emperor's Canon of Chinese Medicine, where they talk about more about the call Yang Shen. Yang Shen is a Chinese term which means nurturing life. Now, it's all this type of stuff predates acupuncture and all things like this. It's all about way of working with the energy around you, with your local environment, using different herbs, plants, and exercises to cultivate your internal being. Qigong energy of life, working with the energy of life.
What inspired you to begin your Qigong journey, and how has that evolved over time?
I've been involved in this for now over 40 years or so now. I was actually, unfortunately, fortunately, I was involved in a very serious car accident when I was just turned 19. And I've been on a healing journey ever since. So I spent 3 months in hospital after that accident. That's been quite a long time in physiotherapy and having back and forth the doctors and surgery and all this type of stuff. And it was actually all quite good, but I was never really healing from the internal to the external. I was always quite stiff. And anyone who's had a lot of broken bones, it's like you can get a lot of arthritis and this type of problem. So it's always told me from the beginning, you'd have to be preparing for early retirement. It's a bit hard to take when you're 19. They say that you have the time to think about retiring. So because they're saying I'll probably get such bad arthritis, I wouldn't be able to walk or work or do things. So I was always been a bit of a journey to kind of counteract this. So in my early 20s, I started doing meditation practice or training. That was great. And I kind of changed my environment, the people I was with. And through there, I kind of found out it's probably best to learn doing Tai Chi or Qigong was probably the better exercise for me because I couldn't do yoga or those type of more physical practices in a way. So I started doing Tai Chi and Qigong in my mid-20s. And it's good. I really liked it. It was quite fun. I went to the first class I went to. I was much younger than everyone else there. but I could actually stand up and I could do the movements. I could do it. With my other training and understanding, I could understand the philosophy and what the practices were about. So really, pretty much from that first lesson, I committed myself to keep going. And really, I have ever since. I've been doing it ever since for nearly 40 years now. And so by the time I became 30, I became a teacher. And by the time I was early 30s, I decided to do it full time. So it's just been my whole life now for what, 35 years or so like that. Just working directly working with people and teaching and getting the benefits. So really, I don't really have any arthritis or such. My left foot is a bit wonky. My right ankle gets a bit stiff sometimes. But basically, I've had all the tests. I've had X-rays with a specialist, and I don't really have any inflammation or much inflammation around my joints where I have all that severe injuries. So in a way, what happens when you do a lot of Qigong and Tai Chi, you clear inflammation out of the body. You clear stagnant energy from the body. Because the stagnant energy causes a problem. It's like the water. The water doesn't flow. It gets stagnant and becomes poisonous. So you have to let it flow in a way. So I was able to do that to clear, we call the yin energy out of the body, let the body heal itself in a way. So it's an ongoing journey. You don't really stop. You have to keep working. It's like the water. The water stops flowing, we get in trouble. So we have to keep working with the water.
That's an incredible story. That really is an amazing story. And you are an incredible teacher too. I mean, I've been able to develop my own sense of being in my practice as well.
That's right. Because in a way, when we become a bit more awake, we become a bit more present within ourselves, our mind, body, and spirit connect a little bit, our chi opens more. Because it's quite obvious when we're not really present, we're not really there, our chi gets a bit murky. And this is where illnesses and things can occur. So really, if we become awake or a bit alive within ourselves, our chi will become a bit alive. So it's really like just connecting with everything around us. Look at the world, look at nature, look at people, be present. And this makes our energy and also our life purpose becomes a bit more real to us, become more enjoyable. As a lot of my teachers always told me, just so we can have a bit more fun in the world. We're not going to be burdened by, our health, our mental health, our physical health problems. We just want to kind of move in the world and enjoy it. That's what we're here for, I think.
It's what we aspire to anyway. Most people know what Tai Chi is, but don't know what Qigong is.
Tai Chi was like the first wave of these type of energy exercises that came from China, like from the 1960s that came out. That's the first wave. It got popularized from the Chinese government and promoted to help people. And that's kind of like the first wave that came out. And a lot of people are doing like Tai Chi. There's lots of different styles of Tai Chi. Because in a way, we say Tai Chi is one of the styles of Qigong. It's one of the martial sports styles of Qigong. So in a way, Qigong, Tai Chi is one of or Tai Chi Chuan is a correct word. Tai Chi is a word which represents a yin and yang symbol. Tai Chi means yin and yang coming together. And the word Chuan or Chan, it means fist or it means boxing. So in a way, Tai Chi Chuan is a shadow boxing movement. So people are doing like a martial art form with an imaginary opponent, like they're shadow boxing, doing movements. So in a way, so Tai Chi is one of the styles of Qigong. And what from historically would say it's more one of the modern, more recent styles, because it has a history of about 500 or 800 years. So it's really developing all the understanding of things coming through nature and all these other different type of understandings. And then they put it into all martial art application. So it's got many benefits to it. And as sometimes the movements are a bit more complicated. And if some people who like martial arts and all that type of thing, it's fantastic. It's got many benefits. But the Qigong, the styles that I focus on and like to teach are all the medical forms of Chinese medicine and the Taoist understanding of the philosophy of it. So there's different styles. Like personally, I did start doing Tai Chi or Tai Chi Chuan back in the mid 1980s here in Sydney. And it was great. I really enjoyed it. I did the Tai Chi sword, called the fan. We did a pole, called the Gengel, did all these type of things. And it was quite fun, but I was never really a martial artist. I didn't want to continue in that reign. So really from the mid 90s, I started to go to China, travel to China to learn and study more because I just wanted to go into more the medical, the healing aspect of it, or how it actually works from the ground up. So my teachers here in Sydney and Melbourne, I was with, said, well, you just have to go to China to learn that type of stuff. So really, pretty much that's what I did. So from the late 90s, I went to a big conference in Beijing, a World Medical Qigong conference, and it was great. I met lots of people, and it was fantastic. And I think there's only one other Australian there at the time, and it was great. So I really came away from that conference realizing that I did know much more than I thought I did. I was quite pleased. So I became a member of that World Association, and from there, the following year, I started organizing groups to go to China because I'm not a rich man. I don't have lots of money. So I just thought if I organize a group of people, we all can pay for each other and we can go and learn together. So that's what I've done over the years from 1999 to 2019. I was able to organize and lead 30 training groups to study at hospitals, at universities, in monasteries, and also in like with lineage traditional masters. And through that they gave me authority to teach those styles. And also I was able to make videos and also to publish books with their authority to be able to teach that. So I've now published 8 books, and I think it's 11 videos or DVDs, and also we made lots of meditation CDs over the time too. So people like that. If you keep going regularly to these places in China, they get respect from you. So you have to kind of have an awareness of the culture. There's a way, it's a cultural exchange, understanding, because we all have a bit of a different culture, but we have a different similar idea and how we're going to apply that understanding. So I was fortunate enough to go a lot of these places with the hospital over 10 times, with lineage masters over 10 times, monasteries 15 times, all this type of thing. And I continue to do that now. We still have these links. And after a bit of a break over the COVID period, I'm starting to take a group back this year. And then from next year, I was taking regular groups each year or maybe twice a year to go and continue our training and study in China. So through this, we are able to take more teachers and people to get direct experience. The teachers and also anyone who has a health condition or people who really seriously want to come to those places, that's where you're going to get the right connection, and can only be good for us in a way.
I would love to do one of those.
Oh, you'll be there one day,
One of
John.
those
You'll be there
journeys.
one day. We'll get there.
Hopefully.
Everything in time, everything in time. Sometimes we just have to let things happen in time. Yeah.
Yeah. Where I'm coming from at the moment is I'm helping and giving people information about what I did, but
Yep.
it's better to go to the source to be able to give the information. So for people who've got cancer, people are undergoing or recovering from cancer, and especially treatments like chemotherapy that just smashes people, and even surgery or radiation therapy. How is Qigong beneficial?
Well, the movements will calm the mind, will relax the body, refresh your internal energy, improve many things. So it's a matter of coming into that practice. So the gentle movements, first of all, again, it's to relax the body. The body is tense, the mind is tense. So really that, first of all, that initial relaxation practice. And then with the movements, with relying on traditional Chinese medicine theory, are working on the meridians, and the meridians help increase the blood and also the fluids within the organs. So it helps with the organ function of the body in a way. It's a bit like having acupuncture, because it's going to increase the fluids through the body and balance things out slowly. So we're through that, first of all, relaxation response. Then we go into a deeper sense when the body will start to regenerate itself slowly. So in a way, we're not treating, when we're doing like medical or healing type of Qigong, you're not treating diseases as such. What you're doing is trying to clear any blockages or inflammation in the body, then allow the body to start to heal itself. So when people are having chemotherapy, of course, it's kind of like it does, as you did say, it smashes the body, because we're trying to poison this type of stuff, but it poisons lots of things. So in a way, I've found from my experience, people having chemo, they really just need to have a rest for at least a week or so after their session to let the body kind of relax, then to start doing some gentle relaxation movements. But the movements will help circulation of the qi, the blood, the energy through the whole body.
You've worked with lots of cancer patients.
I have,
So,
yes, yes, because because Qigong is one of the it's a lot of research behind Qigong, especially with it in the cancer type of area. There's a center in America there where they've did a lot of research on this, and I can actually just quote, I can just quote from one of my books here, if I don't mind. So this is called the National Center of Complementary and in Integrative Health in the US. They did a lot of research, but actually they combined the research study together in about 2018 when they wanted to see putting all the research papers together and see if there was an effect and how it did affect people. And they really, the research was showing you don't really need to prove that it works anymore because there's so much study behind it. It's just actually have to implement it. You get qualified teachers because the problem is at the moment there are a lot of online type of things going around. You can click on something and look up. There's a lot of people that are self-taught now, just from a video or a bit of a book. So they were looking at the research was saying you have to have more recognized and qualified teachers, the people know, because sometimes the movements look very simple. It is very simple, but you have to get into the right structure and the framework of it. So from my experience, Qigong is really good in that area because it will help in many aspects of helping heal the body, but it's very slow and gentle. It's not like a quick fix. It's not like a pill we can take and all of a sudden to wait for something to happen. You have to actively activate yourself within it. And this is the thing. So when I came there with you, John, about 7 years ago, you were up for it. You wanted to do it and we did it together. So that's how it was kind of worked. So I've had worked here in hospitals in Sydney and I still work in a hospital in Sydney and we teach these exercises to people, but there's movement and there's also meditation. There has to be two aspects to things. There has to be a dynamic section and there has to be a static section. This dynamic and static, the yin and yang, have to combine together. But in a way, we do a lot of movement stuff, but also we do a lot of quiet sitting, allowing the body and the mind to harmonize and come back to its natural state in a way.
I've noticed over the years my practice has developed and my sense of the energy flow, I can feel the energy is quite different over a long period of time. And sometimes it changes completely. And then I have a new sense of what it's doing in my body. It just feels like it just changes all the time. And that's one of the things I really enjoy about it. I never get bored. I can do the same practice day in, day out, and I never get bored with it.
That's right. Because in a way, it's not the practice brings you to that point of that presence of being aware, being awake. And this is really the what we call the Taoist is becoming into that nothingness state, the point of the
Yeah.
mind being in no state of anything, just completely relaxed. So it's like when you're playing a musical instrument, you kind of get into that flow, or if you're playing with children, or you're going singing good theatre or music, you're kind of involved in it. You'll become one with that. So in a way, this happens with Qigong. We call it, you go into that nothingness state when the body and the mind and it all becomes one. In a way, this is when the healing starts to occur. This actually happens when we sleep at nighttime. We go into a deep level of sleep. So then the body will start to regenerate and do itself. So unfortunately, when people can't sleep very well, their body is not really regenerating and it's kind of quite obvious sometimes. So that's why a lot of research has shown that sleep, meditation is good as sleep in a way because it brings you to that state and the body will help to become natural again.
In that, there's a lot of work on the breath and the intention. I mean,
Mhm.
you've spoken to me quite a bit about intention.
Yeah, yeah.
So, can you just explain the role of breath and intention in activating healing energy or the chi
Yeah, well,
in the body?
in the Qigong world, and Tai Chi is a part of that. We have this, we'd say they're called the three regulations: the regulating of the posture, the body, regulating of the breath, regulating of the mind. Now, quite often we need to regulate. First of all, is the posture and the body. Quite often our body, as I mentioned before, is a bit tense. It holds a lot of stress and tension, especially if you're sick and undergoing a lot of treatment. There's a lot of stress going on here. Physical stress, emotional stress, lots of things happening all the time. So it affects your whole body structure. So first of all, we learn to stand or sit or move in a relaxed way. The posture is upright, straight, strong. And then the breath becomes after that. Quite often people make a mistake, first of all, focusing too much on the breath to start with. But first of all, you need to make sure your posture is right. If you're up straight, sitting or standing upright, like even now we're sitting upright, lift up through the spine a little bit. We can do a little bit of practice here. You tuck the tailbone that we'll call the hoi in, that pelvic floor, lift up through the spine, like a big pushing up to the top of the head, and just relax. When the body's relaxed, then you can just focus a bit more on the breath. And here, there's different ways of breathing with different types of Qigong. There's not just one type of breathing for all Qigong. Because in Qigong, we say there are thousands of different types, So generally, we breathe in and out through the nose, cultivating, they say, the energy of heaven. Because with the nose here will be related to yang, which is the sky. The mouth will be related to yin, is the earth. So in and out through the nose, the energy of the heaven, the light coming in through the nose. So you can just close your eyes even now for a little while. Just relax. Feel the body settled, sitting in your chair or standing up, and just relax. And then just bring awareness to the breath. And again, just to breathe in and out through the nose. Just relax. A little technique we do is you just relax from top of the head, right down to your hands, right down to your feet. Just relax down through the body on the out breath. Just relax down. In a way, we take that excess energy, that yang energy, the fire from the brain, from the head, into the body. Just relax. Quite often you feel you're not really thinking now, you're just relaxing, sensing. The eyes open gently there. Think of your time. So first we say it's the body, the breath, and the mind. Very
Nice.
good. Just something a little simple. In a way,
Yeah.
one of my teachers, Dr. Shu Hong Tao, who's a specialist doctor at a big hospital in Beijing, who taught me a lot of the medical Qigong. He would say we do this type of technique when you get in the bed at night time, just lying in bed, just relax from the head down to the feet, just relax down. Center yourself, ground yourself before you go to sleep. Then your body is relaxed completely. Then you can actually help go to sleep a bit more. So when you find yourself thinking, just use the awareness of the body, the breath, let it settle down. Just connect.
Qigong with the immune system and inflammatory response. How does Qigong influence the immune system?
Well, in a way, we use the whole body. It's the four limbs have been moved, move the body. Because the meridian channels run from the organs down the arms to your fingers, also up over your head, down the body to your feet and your toes. So when they connect with the four limbs. So when the body is kind of relaxed and the body is in harmony, the chi, inflammation, all these type of things will slowly clear. Quite often we kind of people sitting too much or standing too much, not doing the right time. In a way, you have to move up. You do the same type of thing in yoga, of course. You have to come open the body up. Here it's not so it's physical, but we do a whole extensive type of preparation movements before we start our internal practice. So we always go from the internal to the external, or sometimes from the external to the internal. So let all become one way. So it does work on that way, it does.
So how do you explain the concept of Qi? I mean, to a Western mind, to anybody who doesn't know anything about meridians or Qi, how do you explain that?
Well, everything is chi. Chi is a kind of general word in a way describing all types of energy, types of chi. It's not just one, there's many different types of chi. So in a way, the concept is just really to connecting first of all, that sensitivity within ourselves. It's a hard thing to explain because really they haven't scientifically proven Qi. It's quite interesting. But what they have done, they have shown evidence and research has shown the effects of using Qi, how it affects the body. So it's a funny thing. It's quite interesting. So it's something you need to directly experience yourself. It's not so much stuff if you read on a book or page, that page or book has to become part of yourself. The philosophies and the theories that we use within this type of practice has become real to you. You can't just be kind. Someone telling you how to do it. You have to action it in some way so it becomes a part of you. It's a hard one to describe, John. It's a bit like we say, describing the color yellow. Can you describe the color yellow?
Something that's yellow, so like a banana, but trying to describe it, no.
What's right? If someone hadn't seen a banana before, what's a banana?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a hard thing. But it's something we directly experience through our experience of life. So you see lots of things in life, nature, especially if you see babies, beautiful. The energy just connects with you. There's something going on there. We see when we're feeling what we're in love, or feel that we're feeling we're in nature, we're doing things, we just feel that connection to everything. This is kind of connecting to ourself, our being. We call it your spirit, that connection to God, if we can call it that way from a Christian sense, you know. It's that same type of thing in a way.
I worked with a musician, a piano player, guitar player, singer, songwriter, and sometimes we'd go out and play a gig together, and I was playing drums and percussion, and he would turn around and look at me and say, think the color green. One, two, three, four, and then we'd start playing. He would think in terms of colors, and
Yeah,
how do you describe that? But after a while, I understood what he was talking about. So trying to trying to
yeah,
describe chi
that's right.
would be
That
another.
direct experience of doing something. Yeah, and when
Yeah.
the word Gong is a funny word in the Chinese thing because um, the word Kung Fu, or Americans actually call it Kung Fu. What it means is the time it takes to acquire the skill. It's not martial arts at all. It's part of that application of it. The time it takes to acquire the skill is a forgotten skill we're getting in modern world. That now with AI and all these type of download things happening now, it thinks people want to do things straight away or not even do it themselves. They're not cultivating that skill of life, which is causing a lot of problems in our society. I think we're not losing that connection. So in a way, these type of things of Qigong, Tai Chi, yoga, all these type of things will never go away. They'll always be there. People still really need to connect. And sometimes I think it's a bit of a age thing. I find a lot of people come to the groups and the classes, people with illnesses and conditions, of course, but people who are a bit more mature in life, not so much in age, but more in outlook of life. They've experienced life, they've gone through things, and they're looking for some type of internal practice to balance their internal world, to harmonize more with their external world, to manage their life, their stress, their anxiety, all these type of things that come up through just living, and to let it become more harmonizing, just become more natural. Right?
You were talking about hospitals in America and integrative oncology. There's been quite a few scientific studies,
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, yeah.
and
Like especially in America and the US, and also in China, Japan, Korea, all these type of countries. A lot of the universities there will have some type of research department, and Qigong and this type of thing is all actively involved in there. You know, so there's lots of science behind it. There's a website in the US called the QigongInstitute.org. And this is actually a not-for-profit organization where they publish research papers on energy medicine, including Tai Chi, Qigong, yoga, Reiki, all these type of things, where they've actually shown where they can publish the research from universities. So it's quite interesting to look at because people say, oh, is there any research? There's lots of research. All you need to do is just go to Google and say Qigong research for whatever condition you're thinking about, and there'll be lots of things coming up, streams and streams of it. So it's interesting to look at it and how it actually kind of, how it's applied. Just I'm involved with an institute in China, in Shanghai, called the Shanghai Qigong Research Institute. And they're a government-funded research institute attached to the Shanghai University of Chinese Medicine, where they do get funding from the government to implement these ancient practices to the modern health services. So they've got a laboratory where they do the scientific research, and then they're shown really about showing getting more of the ancient practices and breaking them down and seeing how they work. There's a lot of new styles coming out, a lot of noticed lately, but we're not sure how well they actually do work, because sometimes they're cherry picking a few movements from ancient practices and theories and philosophies and putting together something new. Not sure how that works. And I'm a bit of a traditionalist, and I like to practice more traditional styles. And at the Institute in Shanghai, they're similar. They just like research ancient styles and see actually how it works, and then implementing this to modern health services. So as I mentioned before, the thing is that we have to get more qualified, good quality teachers out there, the people kind of know what they're doing and get it involved. Now, Tai Chi and Qigong is very popular around in the community. You'll find some type of classes everywhere you go. But it depends on how you want to apply it. You just need to get involved with some type of community, and that community will kind of help support you in your healing journey. It's good to learn things yourself, but you need to go with a group of people because the energy will come much stronger for you in a way.
People with limited mobility or limited energy, can Qigong be practiced laying down or seated?
Yeah. Yes, there are practices lying down and sitting. Yeah, there's quite a few practices, and you can do it and modify it towards yourself. A lot of my classes, people just come and sit in a chair and actually do as much as they can. They get just as much benefit. Even people in beds can do a few different movements. Really visualizing, using your mind, your awareness within the body. Yes, it can be adapted in that way quite easily in a way. Yes.
So how much time do you think we should be spending doing Qigong? If, like, I do Qigong most days of the week, if I'm really busy and had to go out for meetings, or I might miss a day here and there. Is that normal, or
Yeah,
how often
exactly
should you
right.
practice?
Yeah, it should apply yourself somehow to do some practice regularly. I'm not a believer in doing it every day. I think sometimes every day can be hard. I mean, sometimes if you miss 1 or 2 days, it's easy to give up and not do it again. The research can show that if you do something 3 or 4 times a week, for at least a minimum of 20 minutes, you're going to get some type of benefit from it. It's like going to the gym or learning a new skill. You have to kind of apply yourself so it becomes a part of the body, muscle memory, and your energy memory. So, but to give you a serious health condition, of course, then you need to practice a bit more, even up to probably, depending on how strong you are, I wouldn't want to do any more than say 40 minutes at a time. But then you can have a bit of a rest in between and do a bit more, say 20 minutes. So
Yeah.
up to 1 or 2 hours a day. It's quite popular for a while there in China, having these sanitarium hospitals where people go and live in the hospital for like a month or two and do their practice, where things will be designed for you. They'll have your diet set up for, it could be herbal medicine, massage, you'd have acupuncture, and also you'd be doing Qigong. Now, they're not so popular anymore, but they were popular quite a while there during the 80s and the 90s. Now, it's a way where you have to kind of set up your own little structure to get the practice. I'd say, you should do at least for 20 to 40 minutes, 4 or 5 times a week to get a good benefit from it.
Can you share any stories of transformations with any of your cancer patients when you're working with cancer patients?
Quite a few of my friends and students who've had quite a bad diagnosis with cancer type thing. And the practice of Qigong has been important part of their toolbox. It's not the only thing that they've used. They've used lots of other things. They've always used all the other natural medicines, but also the chemotherapy, and all the other therapies from their hospital and their doctors. Also, they've used it, their diet. They've actually used their more lifestyle, changed their lifestyle, and also look at more of a relaxed response around how they're going to live and what they're going to do. And Qigong is one of those good aspects they put into their toolbox toolbox which they can use. It's not the only thing. We have to use lots of different things in a way. So, and the response has been quite good. I've seen quite a few good people, and some people it hasn't worked so well, but they've found a lot of relaxation and inner peace from the practice. And this helps them deal with their own situation and makes it more kind of, to get on with things and how to deal with them, with their life in a way.
So thank you. Do you have any final things you'd like to share with us?
Qigong is the energy of life. Qi is the energy of life. Gong is the practice, the study of this. So all we need to do is just to be in the right connection with things, find the right place, the right people, the right energy, and the things can happen. But we always need to have a positive outlook on what we do. With that positive outlook, things can start to change. We're not to doubt ourselves, so we have to be consistent with what we're doing and let it continue to flow. And good benefits can slowly emerge.
I'm going to put links to your website, and you also do online classes, Qigong classes.
That's right. We have a regular online classes, and also I do have a members library on my website. We have over 140 instruction and practice videos on there, and it's a great way of people just accessing that anytime to practice and to being on the class. So you can get that way. But also we can send that link to the Qigong Institute in the US so people can look at some of the research that's been published. And there's also, they've got a connection of a lot of Qigong and Tai Chi teachers worldwide on their website. It's quite interesting to look at.
Thank you. And thank you for spending the time with me.
Oh, thank you,
Very much
John.
appreciate it. And I'm sure a lot of people will appreciate the
Yep.
information about Qigong. And I think you probably clear up a lot of questions people already have about what it can do for them.
Yeah,
So
that's right. Well,
thank you
thank
very
you, John. It's
much.
a great pleasure to know you and to be involved in your continuing journey. And I'm sure we'll have many more discussions and helping people as we go along. Thanks very much.